the Panthers may still add Jimmy G, Baker Mayfield, or Nick Foles. Which quarterback should the Panthers take a chance on out of this group? Zay, I lob that question right up to you.
The most polarizing, fascinating, interesting debate show is live in the huddle.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, welcome back to In the Huddle. I hope y'all doing good. I hope y'all didn't step in the puddle. It's raining. Hope you didn't step in the puddle, but feel free to step in the huddle as we move on to the next topic that we have here on today's agenda. The Panthers may still add Jimmy G, Baker Mayfield, or Nick Foles. Which quarterback should the Panthers take a chance on out of this group? Zay, I lob that question right up to you.
I think, in my opinion, that the quarterback for this franchise will be Baker Mayfield. And I believe this guy deserves a shot in Carolina. I think when you have a college coach who hasn't yet figured it out at the coaching spot, and you have a young group of guys that's just looking for like one of those overly confident locker room guys, I think Baker Mayfield fits that mold. I think Baker Mayfield, despite his media antics, he's not a person or an individual that has lost the locker room as of yet. You know, I think recently he's been giving a lot of flack to the media. He's been talking back, and you know, as respectfully so, he's been disrespected very often by his organization. You know, the Cleveland Browns is not the greatest organization in the world. We all know that, but you know, it definitely does seem a little premature that they've done everything but protect Baker Mayfield in many different instances or give him the opportunity to really thrive. I think they always protected him with the run. I think their team is focused on the run, and they never gave Baker Mayfield the opportunity to really shine. They gave him a head coach who focused on a run as well, a guy who didn't really do well on the Vikings side when in the playoffs, and then put him in a Cleveland Browns situation to just run even more. So I think Baker Mayfield on Carolina would do a lot better in a situation where the coach gives the quarterback the opportunities to thrive. They give him the chance to really show what they can really do, and it's very quarterback friendly in the sense where these guys you're able to show your tools and do what you want to do. Matt Rule's offensive scheme, it was Christian McCaffrey heavy, but then when he got hurt, it allowed Sam Darnold to do what he can do in a sense. So showcase his skills. It wasn't good. We all know that, but unfortunately that's what happened. You know, when the quarterback's not good, they show what he could really do. I think Baker Mayfield has another gear that he could get to. He's shown us that in college, and it just hasn't translated to NFL as of late. But I think under the Carolina Panthers regime, he'll be able to showcase. I think he'll be able to show that he's more than just what he's shown us in Cleveland. And I think it'll be able to show some sort of rejuvenation to his career in the Carolina Panthers offense.
When you was talking, you sparked a lot of things that went into my mind during that take, bro. I was in a time zone. I was in a time capsule, bro. My mind was just like I was just woo, like I was going through a lot, bro. My mind was just, man, the thing that Zay sparked in my brain. I'm gonna first speak about it before I even get to the question. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to have y'all waiting for the question, but it is what it is. The real Lil got an idea that just went into my head. All right, so the last episode, I know you saw the video, Zay. Yes. Of myself and Zach going back and forth about Lamar Jackson, and is Lamar Jackson set up for success?
Baltimore is never going to become a team, right, that is passing the game. That's never going to be their strength.
But it don't have to be their strength.
Run it more, which opens up the.
Or you going to run on 3rd and 15, or you going to run the ball on 3rd and 15. You're not. You're going to have to know how to pass. I'm not saying that got to be your number one dish, your number one meal. It could be running the football. That could be our identity. But all I'm saying is come playoff time, when it's 3rd and 18, 3rd and 15, can Lamar Jackson sit there and pass the rock to win the game? I have not seen that yet. So if I haven't seen that yet, what makes me think I'm just going to project that it's going to happen? And Claire, you know my thoughts on it. I don't think so, because they rely heavily on the running game. First of all, the guy didn't even take the bag yet. Okay, and they're going to use him running the football, and then when situations dictate passing the football, the last couple years they have not answered the bell. Okay, if you down 21-7, 24-7 in the playoffs, that running game is out the window. Can you pass? And when you was talking about Baker Mayfield and this run game, I'm trying to go back in time to the last time I seen a team win a Super Bowl strictly off the run. Because there is this narrative that ironically Zach brought up before, I brought it up, the media brought it up, that you don't need a great running back to win a Super Bowl. You just don't. You don't need the 100 LT, 100 yards LT and AP. They barely, did they even win a Super Bowl? Like, you don't need those guys, right? So I'm saying to myself, when you're the Browns and you run the football, are you really setting up Baker Mayfield to succeed? You know, even though one may say, well, you're running the football, you just got to make a couple passes. In certain situations, as we seen with Ryan Tannehill, when he was forced to pass, one heavy scheme, he did not do it. Jimmy Garoppolo, same thing, he did not do it. Baker Mayfield, same thing, he did not do it. Lamar Jackson, all these guys have in common a run-heavy base scheme. Now, I don't know if it's just the quarterbacks that are behind these schemes that just don't have that it, or it's a coincidence. I just don't know. But that was something that I threw together, and that's just how the real little mind works. But nevertheless, to answer this question, I had to sleep on it last night. There's one key element and one key quality that sets this quarterback apart from the other quarterback, and why I would take this guy over that guy. And that's Jimmy G. I would take him over Baker Mayfield for this one key element: leadership. Leadership in the locker room. A guy that knows how to get along with teammates. A guy that teammates can rally behind because he is a leader. You saw Ryan Tannehill's comments. Malik Willis, okay, I don't need to mentor you. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't say the same thing when it came to Trey Lance. Actually, they became the best of friends. And Jimmy Garoppolo used that to up his play. That's a guy that you want in your locker room because Jimmy Garoppolo ain't going to be handed that job. He's going to have to duke it out with Sam Darnold, which obviously I would believe that Jimmy Garoppolo will win that job because Sam Darnold's not the guy. He's not the guy. But at least you won't have a guy calling out teammates like Baker Mayfield, who called out his own teammates, who called out a couple guys in his tenure with the Browns. You don't want that piece of trash in your locker room, bro. Come on, who are we kidding here? Now, Baker Mayfield possibly could have more upside as far as play. When you talk about guys that are a little bit mobile and can run for a first down if need be, right, compared to the pocket passes, and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have the strongest arm, but that one key element of leadership is why I would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Baker Mayfield. Now, with that being said, Lil, is the answer Jimmy Garoppolo? You just went off and said a whole lot of things. Wait, hold up. The answer is Jimmy Garoppolo, right? That's the overall answer. You're wrong. Not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. There's one guy that actually has a ring on his finger, and that man's name is Nick Foles. That's the guy who I will go with. You see, I seen him in the biggest game that there is to see, the Super Bowl, perform, win a championship. Who did he beat? My guy, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. Listen, I know he went to the Bears. And, you know, the Bears, it didn't work. But the Bears had this outdated philosophy. It was just him taking shots and throwing the ball down the field. There's no flow. There's no tempo. It's just stale offensive, system. And guess what? The guy got fired in Pace. And I don't believe Pace got fired. Nagy, excuse me. He got fired. I do believe they fired Pace too. But I got to check up on that. Nick Foles has been a starter in this league multiple times. He has experience. He won a championship, something that Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't do, something that Baker Mayfield never even came close to sniffing, okay? The closest he came was watching it from the couch. I'll take that experienced vet because you know what? One thing I'm not going to do is pay big money for Jimmy Garoppolo. One thing I'm not going to do is pay big money after this fifth-year option with Baker Mayfield when he requires a max extension. So what I'm going to do is pay cheap for a backup quarterback so I can get my future quarterback in next year's draft. Lil Shadamas on the mic.
Yeah, I think you forgot to mention his stint with the Rams. I think you forgot to mention his stint with Jacksonville. I think you forgot, I think you forgot a couple teams that he went to that he wasn't doing so well. Every team besides Philadelphia he has a losing record with. Actually, I'm looking at it. He doesn't win games. It has to be. There's only one team he won with, and that was Philly. He has a 21-11 record with Philly. Other than that, his record was a combined 8-18, right? Now I'm mistaken. Yeah, 8-18. So the guy doesn't win nowhere else. And I think when you look at this Carolina Panthers team, their biggest issue that people are saying is that their offense is out of date or is not translating to the NFL. They're already looking at Matt Rule as, all right, your time's about to be up. You have a young set of talent on this team, both defensively and offensively, and you're not making it work. So I believe Nick Foles may be a possible, like you said, cheap option, short term. I don't know how cheap Nick Foles is willing to go. Just like somebody who wins a Grammy after their Grammy year, they still asking for big dollars. So we don't know what the price tag is for Nick Foles. I'm not saying he's asking $20 million a year, but if it's a team that he knows they're not right away winning, he may ask for a big contract just because they're not winning and they're not going anywhere anyway. So I might as well just play for the contract opposed to play to win. So I think when you look at everything or the nuances and stuff, you want to look at a Baker Mayfield, a young guy who could still be molded into at least an average quarterback at best. You want to look at that guy and say, maybe he still has a gear that I could get him to because he's still young. Nick Foles, like at 32, 33, you already know what you're getting. I understand you want to play for the future quarterback, but we don't know who that is. And we don't know if that next draft class is going to be stouted with quarterbacks. So I don't know if you're planning to keep Foles until you can find that future QB, or if you're just going to keep swapping out veteran quarterbacks until you find that particular guy. But I think Baker Mayfield, as I said, young guy, he doesn't have a lot of mileage on his body yet. Put him out there and see what he can do. Jimmy G, like you said, great locker room guy, I understand, but he has a shoulder surgery coming up, and we don't know if he's going to be available to play this season. And then Nick Foles,
I believe he had the soldier. I said the shoulder surgery, and he's ready to be a soldier, okay, on a football field whenever that time comes. Got to step like this to be a soldier, boy. You got to step like this to be a Jimmy Garoppolo, bro. That is what it is. Step like this to be a Jimmy G, bro. But anyway, back to Nick Foles and why I'm going Nick Foles. Look, it's not an ideal situation because they tried out veteran quarterbacks in the past. They tried out Teddy B. They tried out Cam Newton. All these guys were veteran guys that they tried out. Why would you try another veteran? But yet they traded for Sam Darnold, who was a young guy, still is a young guy. People forget how young this guy, is. He's just not the guy. But it seemed like he's been in the league forever. He's still a young dude. Do you really want to bring in another young dude if he's not the guy either and have two young dudes whom you will give up potential assets for? I'm not trading for what am I trading for Baker Mayfield for? We're not traded for Sam Darnold, and that didn't work, and I got rid of assets. Now, you can say, well, maybe Baker Mayfield, you get him and let him walk over there. I don't think Baker Mayfield will walk over there because when I watched his interview, he said that the most realistic fit is in Seattle. So I do believe Seattle knows that, and I do believe they're waiting to see if the Browns release him. Why did Baker Mayfield not get picked up? Why? Because of his character. He's just a bad guy that nobody thinks his talent is worth him being a guy that you would want to bring in his locker room. It's one thing to be an asshole, but it's one thing to be a not so talented athlete asshole. And that's what Baker Mayfield is. And that's why when I'm looking at the cheap option, not that any of these guys is the long-term answer for me, it's Nick Foles. Because I know next year, I'm probably going to be right back where I was this year. And you got some good quarterbacks like Ohio State quarterback, Bryce Young, like C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. You got a couple guys, and who knows what other guys may come off in the board. Mel Kiper, Kuiper, whatever his name is, and all them other guys are supposed to be the quarterback rules. You just never know. So that's why I'm going with the familiar foe in Nick Foles.
Can You Dig It? Sports Radio Network is here. Revolutionize the game of media. Be a dig.
Pick apart his opponents for the last 5 years, damn near. I think the last close fight that we've seen him have was with Triple G. And when Triple G was really giving them work. And, they still gave it to Canelo regardless. But that was the closest fight that I've seen where it was a competition between back and forth with Canelo. Besides that, it's just been Canelo teeing off.